Before Audition Magnet, every now and then I would look at Actors Access, but I didn't really know about it as a tool that I could actively use to propel my own career. I learned that I have to take that big step, that I can't leave it up to anybody else, and that I actually have control of what they see. Since taking Audition Magnet, I auditioned for Jane the Virgin, Westworld, a Ryan Murphy show, 2 shows on Hulu, a show on Netflix, Young and the Restless also. Where has this been? I've been in this business for many years, and then all of a sudden, I take Audition Magnet, clean up my Actors Access, the universe kind of high-fived me, and I've had a bunch of awesome auditions. This is a huge opportunity to take advantage of self-submitting.
Before Audition Magnet, I was overwhelmed, anxious, and embarrassed about my Actors Access profile. Apparently a lot of people feel this way, so maybe you can relate. I didn't realize how much that weird feeling about my profile was holding me back from wanting to put myself out there. I really learned that there is a thorough and systematic way to approach going through the profile. Afterwards, I came out with a profile that I was really happy with. I feel like it reflected what I had done, but also where I wanted to go. A year and a half or so before Audition Magnet, I had booked NCIS LA. I was kind of wondering why they hadn't called me in for anything else, and it was like very frustrating. Until Audition Magnet rolled around, I got this audition and I booked it. With the support of a mentor and a community and like concrete tools, it's really possible to move through things that can seem really overwhelming. The one thing that has stuck with me the most is taking in guidance and feedback, but ultimately I have to trust myself. That's not a message that we get a lot as actors, that we can trust ourselves. There's business models out there that are really based on not wanting you to trust yourself. And so I think you have to really pick your mentors carefully. I felt a lot more confident.
Before doing Audition Magnet, I felt aimless. I sort of dove into this, probably like you, not knowing anything about it. I had an Actors Access account, but what do I do with it? And then I did Audition Magnet, and then I learned that I had everything I needed to find success. I just didn't know how to. Now I'm confident. I have no problem submitting to everything that I think might be right. And I've gotten more auditions, and I booked things, and those are also, those are wins.
Brian led us through, I would say, a meticulous scouring of our Actors Access pages and how best we could make them work for us. I learned more about how others see me. It was actually quite moving and shined a light on how much support I really do have in my network. Right after Audition Magnet, I was called in for a large co-star role and called back for it too. Hooray. I felt better about my career. My resume looked much more professional, and altogether things shifted for me in the realm of auditions.
While working with Brian, I realized that the picture is really the first thing that's going to help you get the job. We sat down and talked about what I was wanting to present with my pictures. I was able to go in with a very specific idea of what I wanted, which helped me to get into some great rooms and book some really great jobs. It takes time, it takes patience. I worked for 10 years trying to get a job. I just finished my first series regular job that aired on NBC. And it takes running it as a business. I worked with Brian on mindset stuff and being happy where I was at, and also how to push forward. If you need practical steps and you're not able to figure that out on your own, you gotta go get help. There's no other way to figure it out.
So before doing Audition Magnet, I had been out of the business, as it were, for many years. And since going through this process, I've actually gained a lot of confidence in understanding my castability and being able to hone these particular tools to convey more of my personality. At the outset of the course, I took Brian's suggestion and submitted for 40 castings, and I got 0 response. So then I began going through the videos, honing my resume, and I started submitting, and I have been auditioning all summer long. It made my resume so much clearer and gave a sense of the living, breathing personality. I can't imagine doing it any other way now.
I started out really cynical, but cynical and hopeful at the same time. I was going out on co-star auditions once every 2 weeks. When I did all the steps in Audition Magnet, I was shocked. I started going out more, at least once a week, for co-stars, guest stars, sometimes series regulars. I had a great pilot season. I can actually say I had a pilot season, and I booked a pilot, which was awesome. The whole thing forced me to confront how much resistance was coming for me when I took those actions. It armed my rep to get me better opportunities. One of the things that came up for me was that I come off like an expert, knowing that I come across that way, and then having my profile be in alignment with that, and then coming into the room with that. It sort of helped in everything. Something that was so great that I got from Brian was just being really kind to myself about my materials, not being like, oh, my pictures suck or my resume sucks, quieting the cynical voices. Otherwise, I wasn't able to move forward. I felt stuck.
Before I started working with Brian and really started learning more about what Actors Access was, I was just kind of floating from agency to agency, from job to job. Didn't understand things as a package. I was shocked because he walked me through everything, and it was like, you need to change that, you need to change the font on that, get these slate shots up, we need to redo this reel. And I'm sitting here thinking I'm in the best shape, and Hollywood's crazy for not putting me in, the next Jennifer Lawrence film. But that made me so excited to work with Brian. I was just kind of maybe stuck in my own ways. My agent, or me, if I'm self-submitting, I am using Actors Access. My page has to be right? Perfecto.
I was submitting on Actors Access, but I was kind of submitting blindly. I didn't have focus, and I didn't really know who I was as an actor. He honed in on what headshots I needed, what footage I needed. He really helped me clean it up and make it clear and concise and match my branding. It really gives a sense of who I am as an actor and where I'm going. That's exciting to me because there are so many things in this industry that are unclear, but I know that that is right.
Before this training, I was clueless. I realized I didn't know what I was doing, and I just needed help. When I came to Brian, I had already been on 3 or 4 seasons of Orange is the New Black. I had this expectation that I would be getting tons of auditions, but that really wasn't happening. I had gone through a lot of agents and managers, thinking it was all on them. He really showed me how a lot of what was going on was as simple as my Actors Access profile being a mess. And it never even occurred to me that that could be the problem. And the training was incredibly valuable.
I feel like it kind of changed the game for me.
It was amazing.
Take the leap and see what happens.